Welcome everybody to the ABC Fantasy Focus. My name is ABC. I'm joined by my colleagues Max Bonus and Teddy Ryder. Say hello, boys.
Hello, everybody.
All right. Ball Sunday is tomorrow. You know why you're here. Let's get to it. All right. So, Max and I are going to give you our fantasy lineups. Quarterback, I'm going Joe Flacco, the Baltimore Ravens against Cincinnati Bengals defense. With the high-powered offense that Flacco has and his incredible arm strength against a slow and older Bengals secondary, I see him having a big day and putting up a lot of points for your fantasy team.
All right, quarterback, I'm going to go Ryan Tannehill against the 49ers. And 49ers, not only one of the worst defenses in the league, but also one of the worst offenses, which means a lot of punting and a lot of ball possession for Ryan Tannehill and the Dolphins, which means he should have one or two, maybe even three touchdowns.
All right, we're going to go to the ground game. I'm going Thomas Rawls of the Seahawks, at running back this week, against a poor Buccaneers defense, with him kind of, I think, fully healthy off injury and without C.J. Prosise to eat up carries. He is a borderline running back one this week, and I trust him completely.
All right, running back, I'm going Melvin Gordon against the Texans, and he's the only running back on the team. He gets all the carries, and the Texans, as to begin with, they don't have that good of a defense, and they already have their hands full with the Chargers passing game. When you have Antonio Gates, Travis Benjamin, a quarterback as good as Phillip Rivers, they're going to have so many different moving parts that they have to take care of. I think Melvin Gordon could have one or two touchdowns.
All right, we're going to move to the air attack. Wide receiver, I'm going Michael Crabtree of the Oakland Raiders. Taking on the Panthers in a very poor secondary that is mostly focused on taking out Amari Cooper. I look for Crabtree to have a lot of one-on-one coverages and take advantage of them as he has done so far this year.
All right, wide receiver, I'm going Doug Baldwin, the number one receiver for the Seattle Seahawks. He is basically the only person other than Jimmy Graham that Russell Wilson looks to throw the ball to. And they're going up against the Bucs, who don't have that great of a pass defense. I think Russell Wilson looked really good last week, and there's no reason that he shouldn't have a touchdown to Doug Baldwin this week.
All right, we're going to tight end now. I'm going with the big man on the San Diego Chargers, Hunter Henry. This guy is already starting to take snaps away from Antonio Gates. They know he's the future cornerstone of their franchise, and they are treating him as such. Without Keenan Allen, Travis Benjamin, and Tyrell Williams, I really don't think pose much of a problem to his fantasy points. He's got a great quarterback in Phillip Rivers. It's pretty much their only red zone target, so Hunter Henry.
All right, tight end, I'm going with a man from Kansas City, Travis Kelce. Although he is playing the Broncos have struggled the most guarding the tight end throughout the season. And with Jeremy Maclin and Spencer Ware both coming off injury, playing not so hot, I think that he's going to have a lot of targets for Alex Smith this week.
All right, flex, I'm going third-string giant wide receiver Sterling Shepard. He started off the year really hard, kind of cooled down a little bit, but against a poor defense like the Browns and a pass-happy offense with the Giants, you can never count a giant receiver out. I'm looking at him for at least a touchdown, probably about 80 yards.
All right, for flex, I'm going with the Giants running back Rashad Jennings. Also, I mean, he's going up against the Browns. There's really pretty safe bet anyone on offense, and especially he's their main guy giving the ball to, either on third down in the red zone or when they don't want to throw it with Eli. He's the guy getting the ball. So I say if he gets 10 or 15 carries, he's going to get a touchdown.
All right, we're going to move to the hard hitters, the defense. A lot of people will like this one. I'm going with the New York Giants. They're one of the best emerging defenses in the league. Honestly, I'd go so far as to call them an elite defense. Landon Collins has really showed that he can be a star in this league. And against a terrible Browns offense, what more is there to say?
All right, defense, I'm going with the Buffalo Bills, and they're playing the Jaguars, who have a very hard time getting in the end zone. Yes, they do kick field goals, but that is because they can't put up 6 on the board. So I think they're going to limit Blake Bortles, who's been very streaky throughout the season, to 1 touchdown. Maybe he might have 2, but I really don't even see him having 2 touchdowns.
All right, we're going to go to a new segment here on the ABC Fantasy Focus that will be hosted by Teddy Ryder. This is Teddy Ryder's Boom of the Week. The one player you absolutely cannot sit this week.
All right, that player would be, this week, Eli Manning of the New York Giants going against the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns have a very bad defense, and with, like Andrew said, a very pass-happy offense and very good receiver depth. I think Eli's going to have a big game. 3 touchdowns, 200 passing yards at the least. So,
Well said. All right, we're going to the matchups now. Everybody's favorite part of the day. We're going to start off with the LA Rams taking on the New Orleans Saints in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome.
All right.
And we're going back to the whiteboard thing. If you don't know, well, you'll probably pick it up.
Really not that complicated.
No, it's not.
Saints.
Rams.
All right. I think, although the Rams' defense isn't terrible, it's actually quite good, and the Saints' defense is, as you know, one of the worst in the league. It really boils down to Jared Goff, who the rookies only had 1 start coming into the game, versus Drew Brees at home, who's always amazing at home. I just don't think that the Rams' defense can contain Drew Brees enough to put up the same amount of points on the board.
All right, you know pretty much what you get in the Rams. You got a very good defense. They can pretty much hold their ground with anybody. The offense is obviously the big question here. With not the best O-line, they do have a star running back in Todd Gurley. Don't let the numbers fool you this year. He's still a good running back. They got a decent enough receiving core with Britt and Austin. Jared Goff, he had his first taste of the NFL. All right, he didn't have the best reaction to it, but the Dolphins' defense is not as bad as the Saints. So I think Goff will find his groove this week against a poor defense. Can he outscore Drew Brees? Maybe not, but I think that defense will at least give him the chance to.
All right, Titans, Bears.
We're not doing this
We
one.
don't have to do this one. All right,
We're going
Giants-
Tennessee.
Oh.
We're going Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
People kept saying it was not clear on our last video when we said we're not doing this one. We actually thought it was going with. So.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Cardinals, Falcons. This one we could do.
You guys already know who I'm going with.
Yeah.
Going with my Dirty Birds in Atlanta.
I gotta go with the Falcons too. And you know, Carson Palmer's really not been that good this year. And as long as the Falcons can contain David Johnson, which their pass defense is their stronger suit on defense, they don't have to worry that much about their secondary because Carson Palmer hasn't been that good this year. So as long as they can put up points like they have been doing all season, I think they should be fine.
Especially coming off the bye now with Desmond Trufant, their best defensive player, returning, and Tevin Coleman, one of their more dynamic pieces on offense, back. The offense should find its old groove like it had in the early part of the season, and the secondary should get a bit of a boost too. So,
Alright.
go Falcons.
Giants, Browns,
We're not doing this one again.
Giants.
Giants. We're not doing this.
Chargers,
We're not-
Texans. We can do this.
Yeah, we'll do this one.
Chargers.
Chargers. All right. This may be a bit unexpected, but what the heck?
So I think the Texans, one, I don't trust Brock Osweiler at all. And the Chargers defense hasn't been looking awful. It's been looking a lot better than it has previous years. And I think that the Texans defense isn't going to be able to keep up with all the moving parts that San Diego has on offense. I think they're a very complete team on offense. And I don't think that they'll be able to stop the run game as well as their pass.
Well said, and again, the Texans' defense without J.J. Watt isn't as big as a threat as it usually is. You never count out Phillip Rivers, and the Texans are the biggest false contender in the league. They have had an easy schedule, but if you notice, every single time they have to play a decent to hard team, they get the crap kicked out of them.
All right. Jaguars, Bills. Sure.
Bills.
Handwriting there. Bills.
For the same reason I chose Bills defense, Blake Bortles and the Jaguars have a hard time finding the end zone. So I think no matter how many field goals that Jason Myers can make for his team, I think that Tyrod Taylor is going to be able to drive down the field and score, even though the Jaguars defense isn't horrible. And also, the strength of the Jaguars defense is their pass defense, and their run defense isn't that great. And then you have the Bills, who run is their strength on offense with LaShawn McCoy, and Tyrod Taylor's a very mobile quarterback.
God, you cover everything. Dang, I don't even get to talk.
You got it.
With a dynamic Bills offense and a pretty good solid defense against the Jacksonville team that hasn't been that good this year, what else is there to say? Bills. Ravens, Bengals. Going with the boys in purple. We're going with the Ravens. Baltimore in Baltimore. That's one of the hardest places to play in all the NFL. Along with a Ravens defense that has refound its old sparkle. With Terrell Suggs back and fully healthy, with the rest of it back fully healthy, and also with Eric Weddle emerging as one of the better safeties in the league this year. They definitely have enough to shut down a Bengals offense without A.J. Green, with a poor running attack. Basically, Eric Weddle versus Tyler Eifert will be the only thing we'll be watching all game. And against, like I said with Joe Flacco earlier, against a slow Bengals defense, he's going to light them up.
All right. Seahawks. Oh, no, I'm sorry. 49ers, Dolphins.
We're not doing this one.
We don't. Dolphins.
Dolphins.
All right.
Seahawks, Bucks.
All right.
All right, you know what? You know what? We'll just talk about this
All right,
one.
yeah.
All right, so the Bucks are one of those teams that you can never count out because they can always surprise you. Jameis Winston's just one of those guys. He can always surprise you. But if I had to bet, I'd go Seattle here.
Yeah. I mean, even though I know for a fact James Winston and the Bucks surprised both of me and Andrew last week, being the Chiefs. It's not. They're not. They don't have enough to beat Seattle. I know that. Yeah, the Chiefs' defense isn't terrible, but the Seattle defense has so many pieces to cover Mike Evans, Jameis Winston, Doug Martin, who's coming back and played very well last week. I don't think they're going to be able to move the ball as good as they did last week.
And the other thing is the Chiefs didn't really have enough pieces to cover the Bucks' pieces on offense. The Seahawks do.
Yeah.
They have an elite shutdown corner to shut down Mike Evans, Richard Sherman. They have two good safeties over the top, so the other receivers probably won't be that much of a problem. They have an elite pass rush, and they have an elite middle linebacker to contain Doug Martin. There's not much else to be said.
Yeah. All right. Patriots,
Jets. We'll talk about this one.
All right, we'll talk about it. Going Patriots.
Yeah.
But the Jets, if you look at their previous games, the Jets
Especially
always
in New
seem
York.
to play them well, especially in New York. What did you write?
He stole your line from me.
He stole my line.
If you didn't realize what he did, he just stole Max's line with the Tom Brady sign.
It's cool. But especially in New York, the Patriots always seem to have a hard time with the Jets. I don't know why.
Just a thing.
But it's just one of those weird things that goes on in the league. But I still think that the Patriots should win.
They definitely should win. All right, we're going to go Panthers, Raiders. We'll do this one. Hey, you don't need the bubbles for everyone.
Sorry, man.
We're going to go with Mr. Allen's Oakland Raiders. I don't know what Teddy's going with because he can't hold up a sign yet.
Okay.
I think he's going Raiders too. So
Raiders, they have the best receiver duo in the league as of right now. They have one of the best quarterbacks in the league as of right now. They have a fairly strong rush defense, with especially Khalil Mack.
with an emerged pass defense with Emerson, Smith, Joseph, Mack, Irvin. With Carolina not being as good as it was, this is not the same Carolina team from last year. Cam Newton's not as good. Jonathan Stewart has regressed. Cam Newton's become the Cam Newton of 2 years ago that made the playoffs going 6-10, with pretty much just throwing to Kelvin Benjamin whenever he gets a chance, and he's just lost all his football IQ. And the Raiders, as hot as they are, you can't count them out, especially against a.
And anyone
baseball
who's
Bengals.
questioning the Raiders, because I feel like I've heard this around, anyone who's questioning how good the Raiders are based off their game last week against the Texans where they almost lost, don't question the Raiders. They are not bad. They are not a bad team.
That was due to crappy officiating and luck, honestly. Let's just say that was the football gods trying to trick you up a little bit. All right, so this is an interesting. This is a very important game because this could decide playoff berths. Chiefs Broncos. All right, get ready for some fireworks here, guys.
I know we're going to be conflicted.
Oh yeah, I'm going Chiefs.
Broncos.
Chiefs.
All right, so 2-3 Chiefs. I'll start off with the Chiefs here. I don't know what it is, but in Mile High, the Chiefs always seem to play well against the Broncos. I don't know what it is. And Trevor Siemian started out the season as a fairly above-average quarterback, but he's kind of regressed a little bit. it's kind of imperative what the loss of C.J. Anderson really meant for this offense. Devontae Parker's good, but he's not as good as C.J. Anderson. And I think the Chiefs' defense has a good enough ability to defend the pass, especially against a subpar quarterback like Simeon. The Chiefs probably won't put up a lot of points on offense against this Bronco D, but as we saw versus Carolina, maybe they don't need to.
Well, I'm going with the Broncos because Spencer Ware and Jeremy Maclin, as I said before, they're just coming back off injury. They came back last week. Both didn't play that well. Spencer Ware had like 70 yards, not even a touchdown. Can you stop? But
Control.
yeah, the T.J. Ward is probably coming back, and I just think that the Chiefs don't have a good enough offense to put up the points they need against this Broncos defense.
Okay. Last one. Monday Night Football. Packers, Eagles. Well, we all know where the Cheeseheads will be going on this one.
Like this?
You got Cheesehead sign if you guys can't tell. You know what? I'm going to go Packers, but I'm going to defend why I think this will be an interesting game. The Packers have the most beat-up defense in the NFL. They have, like, nobody left. They're just throwing bodies out there at this point. But they still can stop the run, which is the Eagles' strong suit on offense. Aaron Rodgers is going to score. The problem is, I don't think the Eagles have a good enough air attack to exploit this injured Packer defense. I just don't think they do. So, I see it being a very interesting game. This game could go a lot of ways. But, just because of the fact that they can still stop the run, and the fact that Aaron Rodgers is still the quarterback in Green Bay, I have to go with the Cheeseheads on this one.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
All right, everybody, that will wrap up this edition of the ABC Fantasy Focus. What are you doing?
Dramatic.
Dramatic exit? Seriously? What is wrong with you?
He was dropped.
He's dropped. All right.
I dropped a flashlight.
Go Cheeseheads.
That's not cool.